After the torture that was beating Pokemon Blue with Weedle, which you should absolutely check out if you enjoy watching the impossible happen, I thought I'd take an easier approach to Pokemon. I love shiny hunting in Let's Go Pikachu, which gives you a super buff Pikachu, especially compared to Pokemon Yellow's Pikachu. That got me thinking about Let's Go Eevee, thinking about what a shame it is that there's no way to play through Gen 1 proper with an Eevee. Wait a minute, people do all sorts of challenges using randomizers. I'm awful with using emulators and such, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get this challenge accomplished. And here we are in Pokemon Yellow with our Eevee. We're naming him Potential because he's got so much of it. Too bad we won't be evolving him. Let's set up the rules before we go any further here. Just like in the Weedle video, we're not going to evolve Eevee. We're also not going to use any items in battle. We will have HM users, but they will only be used for HMs, and will stay fainted in the party just so they can't accidentally be brought into battle. My rival, named McLovin, after one of my best friends that I talk Pokemon with all the time, gets a Pikachu. We took Professor Oak's Eevee after all, so Pikachu needs to go to someone. And we manhandle this Pikachu. It's almost shocking to deal so much damage at such a low level after the Frank saga. After visiting the mart and getting the item for Oak, bringing it back, we start to grind. I take on McLovin before Victory Road, and his Spearow is nothing. No trouble at all. Then his Pikachu somehow is an Eevee now. I'll have to look into that. And we almost get sand attacked into a loss, but we hold on and beat McLovin on the first try. Nothing much at all happens in Viridian Forest. I'm pretty sure I got poisoned by a Weedle, and after not being able to be poisoned in the last run, I almost forgot how to handle it. Pewter City Gym. Man, compared to the literal week it took me to beat with Weedle, beating it in 30 minutes was a literal breath of fresh air. It still took a bit of work, just because Tackle doesn't do a ton of damage on rock and ground types. I tried at level 10, but I just wasn't strong enough. My strategy of Sand Attack and Tail Whip worked pretty well, but when he did land some hits, it still just knocked me down. I learned Growl at level 16 though, and that allowed me to lower his attack, defense, and accuracy. It took a while, but Sand Attacking, Growling, Tail Whipping, then Tackling, Geodude and Onix were defeated, and I've got one badge in my stash already. The road to Mount Moon isn't very interesting. I make it to the Pokemon Center and proceed into the mountain. Nothing very interesting happens inside of Mount Moon either. There's a few trainers with rock and ground types, but I just use the same strategy that I used against Brock to get past. Praise Helix, and I make it to the end of Mountain Moon to find one of the additions I had forgotten about in Yellow, Jessie and James. I always loved Yellow just because it was the closest thing to the anime, and these two being here is just so nice to see. They aren't a challenge though, and we make it to Cerulean. Your rival in Yellow has much better team variety than in Red and Blue. I know he gets a starter and an Abra in Red and Blue, but having Pidgey and Rattata are just kinda boring, even if they're early game Pokemon. But your rival having Spearow, Sandshrew, and Eevee in this part of the game really makes him stand out. I couldn't figure out anything with giving him a Pikachu again, so he's just gonna stick with Eevee. Maybe he found Eevee along the way and got rid of Pikachu, I don't really know. I took a break here to do some housework, and came back to continue playing and forgot to record like a goof. So pretty much everything from Nugget Bridge to Before the St. Anne doesn't have video. You still get the commentary from me though, so stop your crying, it'll be alright. Just because it's easier to take down rock and ground types doesn't make it any more fun. They still take a while, so I don't just enjoy them. There's those few trainers on this route above Nugget Bridge that have their Onix and Geodudes, but they aren't nearly as annoying as with Frank. I almost forgot, we added our Cut and Strength user on this route. This poor guy is terrible at raising Pokemon, so he gave us his Charmander to use for free. Not Eevee is a welcome addition to the team. I wanted to evolve him into Charizard so he could be our Cut, Strength, and Fly user, but I have better things to do. Like play Pokemon Blue with a Weedle. Oh. I can't use that joke anymore. We fixed Bill and took down Misty. I was around level 30 by this point, so it was no issue. Potential has considerably better defense than Frank. Bubble Beam isn't nearly as painful this time around. We got Dig from the Rocket Grunt, and I tried to teach it to Potential, but Eevee didn't actually learn Dig until Gen 3. I was planning on this being a big help, but it's not the end of the world, and we kept on going. The SS Anne just gave me some nice XP. McLovin's team isn't different from Nugget Bridge, and they're just as easy to beat. I didn't even need to spam Sand Attack this time on everything. We got cut and made our way into Lieutenant Surge's gym. He only has Raichu this time to coincide with the show, which I always loved. It's considerably stronger than anything we've faced so far, but it's no problem for Potential. We also picked up squad goals for Surf in Vermilion City. I didn't pick up Bulbasaur in Cerulean just because I have all the HM bases covered that it would provide, and nothing will replace Not Weedle. Mount Moon is much less of a struggle this run. Slowpoke and Cubone aren't crippling to me like with Weedle. Rock types are the only annoying ones again, but this time they were just nice XP for potential. Lavender Town opened up an area where we could get a move that we're going to have for our final move list. Swift is in the building on the route south of Lavender. You might not think too highly of Swift, but it's actually a really good move. On top of never missing, it has a base power of 60, which is way higher than I ever thought it had. We also get a same type attack bonus as it's a normal type move. After Sand Attack being a big issue last run, I wanted to have a failsafe to prevent any droning battles. I don't go into the Pokemon Tower, even to battle McLovin, because there's nothing I can do to the Ghost type Pokemon. And Eevee only learns normal type attacks in Gen 1, but I've got an idea. I can get the TM for Mimic in Saffron, which copies a move from your opponent, so I will eventually be able to take down the ghosts. We'll come back here later. Celadon City Gym is nothing. I seriously love how easy these gyms are this time around. You don't appreciate how nice it is till you've got a severe handicap on yourself. The Rocket Game Corner gives us our next move that is going to be useful. Double Edge. Yes, it gives recoil damage, but it has 100 base power. I was always scared of recoil moves growing up because I never understood why you would purposefully deal damage to yourself. But it only deals 1/4 damage compared to 1/2 damage that Struggle deals. And Eevee gets the stab bonus too. Double Edge is nuts. I take most things down easily with this move. I've also kept Sand Attack just in case I need to cheese a little bit in battle. Jesse and James are in front of Giovanni, but Ekans, Coughing, and Meowth are still lame. They go down easily. Giovanni, even with Onix and Rhyhorn, isn't too difficult. And he's got a Persian too. That's such a nice touch. Too bad it's not very strong. Now that we have the Sylph Scope, we can go battle the ghosts. There's a few things we need to take care of first. There's an Eevee on top of the Celadon hotel place. I'm gonna go get him real quick. There can be only one. We also got a Pokédoll and Lemonade from the Celadon department store so we can get Mimic and open up all the routes to Saffron. And so we arrive at the Mimic's house and... well, poop. You can't get in the Mimic's house until you drive Team Rocket out of Saffron. This means I can't get Mimic, and you can't drive them out of Saffron until you get the Pokéflute and run them out of the Pokemon Tower. I was so depressed and upset learning this. I had made all this progress just to be shut down. I started thinking of everything. I know Struggle is a normal type move in Gen 1, but maybe they fixed it in Yellow. They didn't. Swift has 100% accuracy, so maybe it might work. It didn't. I was just going to grind up something else to beat Pokemon Tower Ghosts and then get Mimic, but then the run would have a slight asterisk on it. And after having to use an Ether in the Agatha battle with Frank, I didn't want another video that just slightly wasn't true. I looked at every Bulbapedia article on all the TMs that Eevee can use. Then, I saw it. In Gen 1, the attack Bide doesn't care for type resistances, meaning Bide has a normal effect on Rock-type Pokemon. But more importantly, it's able to hit Ghost-type Pokemon. I was so scared that I had sold the TM for Bide already, but luckily I hadn't. So I taught potential Bide, took McLovin out of the way, and tested it out. And down go the Ghosts. This is an incredibly annoying method though, because I have to take damage to deal damage. There's actually one of these channelers that took me out a few times, but pushing through, Potential made it to the top of the tower, killed the ghost of Marowak, and destroyed Jesse and James. Their Ekans and Coughing evolved, but the Meowth didn't, which is such a nice touch. I'm pretty sure I could almost guarantee that Meowth used to evolve though, because I remember being upset about it when I was younger. Maybe it's a Mandela effect situation? Either way, we get the Pokéflute and keep making progress. Snorlax is much easier this run as well, and we keep going south to Fuchsia. The gym trainers aren't tough, but Koga actually puts up a good fight, meaning that I had to actually level up some to get past him. There's a huge level jump with Koga that the rest of his trainers just didn't have. At least he didn't have Muck this time. 3 Venonat and a Venomoth are all he has. I added a few levels to Potential, and Koga was defeated. I ran through Cycling Road and leveled up more just because I don't feel as confident with the higher level the enemies get. In Sylph Co, we find McLovin, and his team is really cool. I wouldn't mind playing through with this team, but there's still nothing difficult. Even though I already have squad goals for Surf, I still picked up Lapras. I named him Leviticus this time. No one commented about him being named Job last time, and honestly, that's kinda disappointing. Jesse and James showed up for the last time too. I'm kind of upset that it's the last time they're here. And they don't have any new additions to their team. It would be awesome to see them with Victory Bell and Licky Tongue. I guess the anime hadn't reached that point by the time Yellow was released, or maybe they just couldn't work it in. Either way, Team Rocket blasted off for the last time. Giovanni is a little annoying here, but he still went down in one go. His Nidoqueen scared me a little bit because it has double kick, but it didn't matter. We got the Master Ball, and then we took on Sabrina. But not before getting Mimic, because we can do that now. We trade the Pokédoll for the last move added to Potential. I tested out Mimic in Sabrina's gym against some of the Ghastly, and I was surprised to see that you get to actually pick the move copied. This feels really advanced for Gen 1. Talk about a nice surprise. Sabrina was even easier this time than with Weedle. I can't believe that one of the toughest gyms growing up is so easy now. I just needed an Eevee and Weedle on my team apparently. I also went through the fighting dojo for some levels, but it was a little scary. I was afraid of a rogue karate chop taking me down at any point. But I got my levels, and I picked up Hitmonchan. I didn't have a name picked out for him, but then I learned that Hitmonchan is called the piston-punching Pokemon. This made me think of the Detroit Pistons, which I can assure you no one has ever said before, and I named him Seeger, after Bob Seger, the musician from Detroit. I like rock and roll, okay? I head south from Pallet Town because I'm a weenie and breeze through the Pokemon Mansion. Blaine's gym is no issue at all. I was also really sad to see that he doesn't have a Magmar on his team. Again, I'm thinking the game was released before Ash and the gang made it to that part of the show. Still kinda sad though. Could have really varied up his team. Also, he absolutely looks like Danny DeVito in the overworld. And now we head back to Viridian City. The gym is actually a little tough. Giovanni's team is just bulky. I tried muscling through using Double Edge and Swift, but it just doesn't work. I take too much damage from Double Edge, and even though it's way better than Struggle, his team deals big damage, especially since they have moves like Earthquake and Double Kick. I tried getting tricky and mimicking Fisher from his Dugtrio at the beginning. Fisher is just too inaccurate though, and it doesn't work. Then I mimicked Earthquake, and I should have just done this from the beginning. Earthquake does way more damage to both Nidos, and then his Rhydon is so much easier. I say much easier because it didn't attack me. Rather, it didn't hit me, I guess. With 27 HP left, I was ready to reset the battle. But he used Horn Drill, which didn't hit me because I'm an overpowered Eevee. And now I have all the gem badges. McLovin's team here was so easy. I'm going to use this footage to talk about something I don't hear enough about. The sprites in this game look nice. There's definitely a charm to the red and blue sprites, but they're kinda ugly. Really ugly sometimes. But here, they look sick. Yellow needs more praise. Oh man, I just said something about a Gen 1 game was underrated. I pushed through Victory Road, and I battled a few more trainers this time because I needed the levels. I was level 100 last time, and now I'm, less. After reaching the Indigo Plateau, I flew around the map getting the rest of the PP restoring moves I needed. I grabbed a PP up for Mimic from the power plant, said hi to Zapdos, and took on the Elite Four. Ah, Dugong, you were such a pain last time. He even used Rest as a cool throwback. Neat, but he only got the chance to use one. Dugong is done. Cloyster damages me a little bit, but nothing too bad. Slowbro only used Withdraw, so no damage was taken here. Jinx went down to 1 Double Edge, and Lapras popped out. Unfortunately, Double Edge only dealt half damage. Lapras used Body Slam, and I was so worried I was going to get paralyzed. But I didn't, and Double Edged through. Wow, that was such a painful battle last time, and this time it just wasn't. Bruno made up for it though. Being a normal type, I was scared that I was going to get destroyed by his fighting types. I had to use 3 Double Edges to take down his first Onix. I thought Hitmonchan would go down to 1 Swift, but he is way more tanky than I gave him credit for. He used an X-Defend like a doofus though, and I took no damage. Surprisingly, Hitmonlee went down in 1 hit from Swift. Even with both Hitmons being done, I had already taken a little bit of damage, and I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to double edge through. So I got fancy. I used Mimic on this Onix because it has Earthquake. It will be super effective on his last 2 Pokemon, and won't deal recoil damage to me. So Onix went down, and I get a critical hit on Machamp. Unfortunately, it didn't beat him. But he used Strength for some dumb reason. If he had used a fighting move, I almost certain would have been knocked out. But he didn't, so I won. Agatha surely wasn't as annoying as she was with Weedle, right? That's correct. But she was still difficult. Her first Gengar has different moves this run, and it's a weird moveset. The only move that was advantageous for me to take was Lick. It doesn't deal a lot of damage though. I get Gengar down to red, and he tried to make a substitute, but it didn't have enough health luckily. Golbat and Arbok were no problem this time though. That was so nice. Swift and Double Edge were useful for them. Haunter has lower defense, so Lick is good enough. Her last Gengar was almost my undoing. This Gengar has Psychic, and if I could have mimicked this, the whole battle would have been so much easier. But that doesn't happen. I had 4 Licks left. I used one, he used Psychic, got hit hard. Used another Lick, he used Hypnosis, and he missed. Then I got a crit with Lick. I'm pretty sure if I hadn't gotten the crit here, she would have used a potion or something. But regardless, Agatha went down. Lance. I was a little more worried about Lance this run. I can't abuse bad AI this time, so I have to actually plan my attack. I started with Swift, and that didn't do really well against Gyarados. I should have used Double Edge. I took a Hyper Beam, and it didn't wreck me, but it did some damage. Gyarados went down though, and out came Dragonair. His 2 Dragonair have very different movesets. I used Double Edge and took down the first Dragonair in one hit. I almost used Double Edge again, but I thought it would be better to mimic Ice Beam, and I'm so glad I did. I took a Wrap, but then Ice Beamed the rest of his team. Thank goodness Dragonite had double weakness to Ice, and even though Aerodactyl really could only Hyper Beam me, I didn't want to take the risk. Lance just isn't a threat in these 2 specific runs I've done. McLovin time. I just love how colorful this team is. It's such a neat team. And believe it or not, this is the first time that he actually put up a fight. I opted for Mimic and getting Slash from his Sandslash. I was hoping that the stab bonus and Slash being a critical hit machine in Gen 1 would put me over the top, but it doesn't work out nearly as well as I planned. I took a ton of damage from Sandslash, like over half of my health. Alakazam and Exeggutor went down, but I'm really low on XP now. I tried a Sand Attack Cloyster, but it just lands an attack. I lost to a Cloyster. How sad is that? Next run I tried the same thing, and somehow had less health, and I lost to Cloyster again. I'm really trying not to cry right now. Slash again, but this time I have way more HP. Cloyster gets an Ice Beam off, damaging me, but not killing me. Oh, Exeggutor got Leech Seed on me though. So as long as I could take down his Pokemon in one hit, I wouldn't have health sapped. But then Rapidash used Fire Spin. So I took fire damage, then Leech Seed damage. It didn't quite end me though. I had 33 HP when Rapidash went down. I had just enough to take down Jolteon. This won't be an issue. Little did Greg know though, this would be an issue. I almost changed up my strategy this next run. I almost mimicked Earthquake, but I thought I'd try Slash one more time. I kept good health after Sandslash, no damage from Alakazam, Exeggutor uses Barrage instead of Leech Seed and misses, Chlora gets an Aurora Beam, and although it crits, it still does less damage than Ice Beam would have. And Rapidash does nothing to me. Now you probably noticed that my level has increased. I had a ton of rare candies left over. I could have actually grinded my way to level up, but I just wanted to finish the challenge. I'm not nearly as resentful this time, but still. I didn't even use all of my rare candies though in my defense. I totally could have just roided all the way up, but I didn't. Could I have won at level 75? Probably, but the difference isn't that big at 85. And then Jolteon is the last thing in my way. I hit first with Slash, and it crits. Jolteon is down, McLovin has been defeated, and yes indeed, you can beat Pokemon Yellow with an Eevee without using items in battle. No asterisk this time. I can't believe I found a way through the ghost types. I'm also pretty sure I'm the first person to at least make it known online that you can beat Yellow with just an Eevee. There is a guy that made a video that actually gave me the inspiration for this video. Tyon made this video, got to Lavender Town, and then learned he couldn't affect the ghosts. Because I'm crazy though, I thought I'd keep pushing through and found a way. I'm gonna send this video to him explaining that he was the inspiration behind it, and I'll let you know his response. I was shocked at how useful Mimic was. I really like this move. I might even try to use it in an actual game sometime. But we're not done with this run though. There's another Pokemon that lives in a cave that I need to catch with the Master Ball. Zubat. Kurt here is going to be a part of my next challenge, or if not the next challenge, one of the next ones. I'm going to take a single Zubat all the way through Red and Blue. I really want to try out Gold and Silver with something though, so that will probably be the actual next run. I just really like Kanto, okay? Potential, I will never forget you. This run was so fun. You are the best Eevee, and you don't have to change yourself just to be loved. You are perfect just as you are. You just had to learn some moves, that's all. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Check out the Weedle video if you haven't already, and stick around on the channel for a bit. I love doing these videos. They are a blast. I appreciate each and every one of you that offers kind words about them too. I have a regular video coming in the works soon, but these are nice getaways from those types of videos. It gets my creative energies going. Y'all have a great day, and until next time, see you later.